All right, welcome in. It is Thursday. It's time for another edition of Total Bases. I made one bet yesterday. Brian, I'll go to you first. I made one bet yesterday. It was a 5% play. It was on the Detroit Tigers. I could not understand why the market, we use the term, I got it shoved in my face a little bit. I bet this at minus 124. I thought it was a fine number. That game went down, I think, as low as like minus 105. 20-cent move. All the Angels money came in. I went so much so that I went back into my write-up, said, hey, don't worry about it. It's not going to matter. It doesn't change my opinion on this game. Doesn't change my handicap. The Tigers finally win a game for the home office and for me. 5% play. They win 4-0. But the reason I'm sort of going on and on is because that's where I want to start today. It's a day game. And even right now, this happens to teams that are struggling. This is like a sign that it's not your year. Even when you win, you still lose. And that's what happened to the Tigers yesterday. Casey Mize leaves the game with a groin injury, and then 1 out away. This should be a routine 9th inning, no problems. Kenley Jansen goes out there, tweaks something, and now he's out. And of course, they've been without Tariq Skubal for a while now. So let's start there today. I know none of them were going to pitch today, Brian, but God, I don't love how that feels for the Tigers here going into a day game with the Angels this afternoon.
Yeah, I kind of agreed with you yesterday on the Tigers, but hats off to you. You had the cojones to play them. I wanted to wait to see if they were going to turn it around a little bit. They've found so many different ways to lose, but that was a solid bet. You led all the way. It was a nice day for you. I also had a nice day. I went 5-1 for my clients, and I think the only loser I had was in this. It cost us the parlay. I believe I had the A's yesterday. Is that correct?
Yeah, we went. I believe it was the second day where we've hit 2 out of 3 in the parlay. I cost us the day before with the Padres. Yeah, the A's didn't show up yesterday, but you still had a good day yesterday, Brian.
Yeah, 5-1 day. I'll take it. But yeah, the A's was a bad call, and I live up to my losses. It's just as much as I live up to my wins. And if you've been doing this for so long, you can't get too excited when you win. Can't get too down when you lose. But yeah, I think we all had a really nice day yesterday, and hopefully our clients did too. Yeah, the Angels at this point are on the road once again at Detroit. They've got Rodriguez against Flaherty. And just mentioning the word Flaherty probably keeps me off of playing the Tigers because he has not been good this year, unfortunately. And TB's been talking about that all year. And yeah, he just hasn't turned it around. And but what else are they going to do? I mean, they've got a lot of injuries. On the good news, Skubal is throwing. He's in much better shape than what we thought he was going to be. I had him on my fantasy team. I was trying to trade him a few weeks ago. Now everybody wants him because he's going to be coming back, and he's looked really good. So that surgery he had is the same surgery that the Dodgers pitcher just had. So starting pitcher. So hopefully both of them will be back sooner than later, and it'll help both teams. But yeah, Flaherty right now is about a 125 to a 130 favorite, and the total in this game is 8.5. The Angels are not a team that I'm looking to back on a regular basis. As I pointed out before the season, I thought they would, a 12-1 were a pretty good bet to have the most losses on the season. They did bring up Nick Madrigal from the minors. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference at all, but they've got Rodriguez going from a pitching standpoint. The bullpen's in pretty good shape. The closer of the day, and which is literally happens half these teams in these league right now, is Kirby Yates. He threw 16 pitches on Tuesday, had not pitched any other time the last 4 days, so he's going to be available. Bachman and Zephyr are also going to be available. They haven't pitched in a while, so we may see a good portion of the Angels bullpen in this run, regardless of what happens. From a hitting standpoint, the top of the Angels lineup has been hitting very well. Neto, Trout, Grissom, and Meckler, who they just brought back from the minors just a week ago. He's been doing pretty well. So the Angels hitting, it hasn't been bad as of late, but I don't know if I trust him here. This is usually a pretty good pitcher's ballpark in Detroit. Detroit's hitting, McGonigal's been fantastic, no doubt about it. Those numbers you were getting earlier, Trig, on him with his hitting, you're going to have to pay out the butt for now if you want him, because he's been red hot. Number 8 in Major League Baseball the last 7 days. Dingler's starting to come around. Torkelson, for the second time this year, he's been a little bit better. So maybe the Detroit's offense is coming around here. From a pitching standpoint, you mentioned Kenley Johnson leaving the game. He won't be playing. Finnegan had to throw 16 pitches yesterday. He'll be able to come back. But Drew Anderson they brought in, who I do like. I liked him earlier in the season, and he didn't perform very well. But he came in through 35 pitches, got the win yesterday. So I think the bullpen situation for the Angels is a little bit better, but I actually like the pitchers in the Detroit bullpen a little bit more. This is a tough day. We've only got, 6 games going on all day today. I'd like to find a way to fade Detroit at this number, but I can't. So I'll be passing on this one.
Let's get Tokyo Brandon in here. Vinny says, good morning, TV. How did KBO go? How did your night go last night? How did KBO go? And how are you seeing Tigers Angels, Tokyo?
Yeah. Brandon? Okay. I'm a little under the weather, guys. I got a over 100-degree fever. So bear with me. My voice is weird. I am hopped up on lots of medication. I don't know what it is, but and I drank some alcohol too. So feeling all right. Yesterday, KBO went 1-1. I had Samsung, but I also had NC under, which I lost in the second inning. And MLB, I went 3-0 yesterday. So it was a good day, including my 4% play. I did a rare hits, runs, RBIs with Juan Soto because he was absolutely crushing the guy he faced. I forgot who it was, and he got a home run his first at bat. So I won that one right off the bat. So that was good. Regarding this one, and I have a 4% play up in MLB today. So double play, 2 of us, 3 for a huge discount for 3 days. I think I'm looking for a bounce back for the Angels. I know they're horrible. I have actually both. Yeah, I have both of these bullpens ranked between 26 and 28. I have both starting pitchers ranked very low. And I got the Angels batting just a tick above Detroit's batting in current form, despite yesterday's debacle. But I don't feel comfortable betting either team on the side. Like Brian said, for Adam to put a 5% yesterday on Detroit, man, that took some cojones there. That was a bold bet, and it paid off. So today, I think, Flaherty's numbers against these Angels are horrible. He's got a 305 average against and a 749 OPS. The OPS is not terrible, but the average is bad, which tells me that he's given a lot of singles and he's getting lucky that they're not scoring. So I think an Angels team total over would be a way to go here. I think if I were to bet it, that's how I would approach it.
I'm with you guys. I want to find a way to play the Angels here. We're going to probably hit all 6 games on the show, so we'll probably wait till the end to lock in the parlay as we usually do. But this is definitely a candidate for me. Just taking the Angels on the money line. I don't really think that the Tigers, yesterday, like I said, I really like the setup and the situation for the Tigers. I like Mize, and I was not really expecting that flood of Angels money to come in against me yesterday. Now, it didn't make me like my position any less, but let's still acknowledge the fact that the market, someone, group, syndicate, whoever, loved that plus price on the Angels with Soriano on the mound and slammed it all the way till it was like minus 105, minus 110 both ways. I think that went off. Tigers minus 110 was widely available. Right before game time yesterday. Would not be surprised to see something similar happen here. Now, I don't think the market likes Grayson Rodriguez the way they like Soriano, but I kind of do. I know his numbers are poor right now to this point in the season, but he's only had 2 starts. He's coming back from injury. Guy's throwing 97. I kind of think he's going to figure it out at some point. He's a pretty good pitcher. And, the guy is certainly not going to sit there with a 10+ ERA very long. He's too good for that. So I may use Angels in the parlay, and I'm going to go to Tokyo Brandon. He wants to jump back in here.
I just want to jump in real quick, guys. Some betting advice. Find some pitchers that the books slight too much or the books give too much credit to. So Soriano is definitely a guy they give too much credit to. An example of someone who gets slighted by the books would be someone like, I don't know, Davis Martin maybe, but they're catching on with him. But if you find those spots, you can win some bets like Adam did yesterday.
Listen, Grayson Rodriguez really had the blow up in his first start. Last time out, yeah, he gave up 4 runs, but he pitched into the 6th inning, almost completed 6, went 5 2/3, only had 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. My gut said, like, this is not a good Detroit lineup. My gut says he pitches well. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it right now. Brian, what are we looking at as an Angels money line? What are we looking at for Angels money line?
I
think they're dogs.
From 110 to 117, but mostly about 112.
You can call it Angels plus 110. I just don't think they should be underdogs here. And I do think, listen, even though Casey Mize was obviously not going to pitch today, started yesterday, and Kenley Jansen probably wouldn't have pitched today because he went in for the to save the game yesterday. That is mentally crushing to a team that's struggling, that's 22-34, that's been without their top pitcher, and now they basically lost 2 of their better players in the same game. Had to ask for a couple extra bullpen guys because, of course, Mize would have gone more than 4 innings. They wouldn't have had to go to Hannafy. That was a whole scramble job at the end of the game there when Jansen got hurt. So, yeah, I just don't think the Angels should be an underdog. And that will be my parlay. We'll get it out of the way now. All right, let's move it along. Like I said, we're going to get to all 6 games today. Michael in the chat says Adam ain't give out a winner all week. So appropriate way to say that would have been Adam has not or hasn't given out a winner all week.
English,
but
yeah.
in fact, Adam has given out winners this week. I'm 5-1 since Monday for clients. I hit my only play yesterday, which was a 5% play. And yesterday on the show, I gave you Reds Mets under, which stayed under easily. So, we're all about receipts here on the show. I think I actually have given out winners. However, yeah, we got to get one going in the parlay. And like I said, I think I have one with the Angels, but we're going to find other ones. So let's move it along. Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to come back to you. You teased this next game when you brought up Davis Martin. Davis Martin, your boy, is on the mound for the White Sox today. He's at home against the Twins. It looks like Kendry Rojas for the visitors. How are you seeing White Sox Twins?
So on my Twitter X, I've already put up players' strikeout projections, and I'm about to put out the pitcher matchups. So take a look there to see what I have for Davis Martin's strikeout projection. He has pretty bad numbers against the Twins, actually. He's got 52 at bats, so it's a good sample size. 269 average and a 762 OPS. So beware, because Rojas has looked actually pretty good, although he doesn't get he's only gone past 3 innings one time this season, or no, twice. The furthest he's gone is finished the fourth inning one time. Great ERA, but terrible whip, which tells you that he's putting a lot of guys on base, but they're not scoring, so he's getting kind of lucky. I think the total might be a little low in this one, so I would probably go for an over, just because I think Davis Martin, opposite to what I just said earlier, might be getting too much credit on this one. Although his command and control is amazing. He's got a 15% walk rate. So he's walking 15% of the batters that he's striking out, which is an amazing rate because normally it's around 30, 40. So Rojas's walk rate's not bad either. His problem is his luck's going to run out eventually. I would take an over in this. I got the Twins batting 7, and I got the White Sox batting 11. So yeah, those are 2 decent offenses to take an over today, I think.
Brian, you mentioned a couple shows ago that you were intrigued by Rojas a little bit for the Twins. I've mentioned that I thought he's throwing the ball well in the minors for both Buffalo and St. Paul. He comes from the Blue Jays organization. It's a guy the Twins clearly wanted, when they were out sort of selling off stadium parts, any players that they had for any player that they could get last year. 11 trades they made around the trade deadline. So are you interested in Rojas and the Twins at all today?
It's interesting with Rojas. He's a lefty, and I like the way he pitches, but he's really struggled against lefties this year. His walk rate against lefties, now it's been a small amount, 30.4% walk rate, the same as the strikeout rate versus lefties. That is very concerning. His ball rate, which a lot of times if your strikeout rate is really high or really low, you can take a look at ball rate. His ball rate is 51.6%, as you opposed to somebody like Peyton Tolley against lefties. His ball rate is 29.8%. So, yeah, I do have some concerns about Rojas, and he's pitching against a Chicago White Sox team who on the season against lefties has a 118 WRC plus, as opposed to a 96 when they face righties. I am a little bit concerned that he's going to get knocked around by these White Sox. The White Sox yesterday, they were one of my plays for my clients. As I said, I went 5-1. Davis Martin, yeah, the line is going up. Davis Martin is a well-known commodity now, and he's pitching very well. Minnesota's offense has not been performing that well as of late. And if you take a look at, their lineup going from, 1 to 9, yeah, Buxton's been doing pretty well. Brooks Lee's doing well. And Austin Martin are doing well. But Austin Martin doesn't hit home runs. Brooks Lee rarely hits home runs. Buxton does. Buxton's been on a really good run for a while. But if you've got a bunch of guys in the lineup, like a Carantini, a Gray, a Keishels, who's been very disappointing this year, they don't have a lot of power on this team. Josh Bell right now is their big power guy. In the last 7 days, he's at 308. He's slumping. Just a week ago, he was hot as hell. Tells you when you meet these teams, how did they go? But how are they hitting right now? And right now, I don't trust these Twins. This was the original Taj Bradley situation where he was supposed to have pitched today. He's coming back from the IL, but he's a guy that I would prefer. He's a righty, and I would prefer him, but I guess they're going to wait until tomorrow and see how it goes. But I'm going to fade Rojas here, and this is going to be my part of the parlay. And it's a day. There's only 6 games. It's good. It's these plays aren't going to be as strong as they have some other days. Yesterday we loved the card. Hit 2 out of 3 of our games we gave out on the show. We all had big winning days. But I like the White Sox here. The White Sox are a team they are getting. You're paying a little bit more for the White Sox right now, but they're deserving. The White Sox are playing really good right now, and if you take a look at their top 5 guys in the order, they're all hitting well. So we were getting Benintendi's actually hitting well. He's done well. So they're coming around, and I like the White Sox in this one. If you take a look at the bullpen, Dominguez hasn't pitched the last 2 days. Taylor, the best arm in the bullpen, hasn't pitched the last 2 days. And the 3 guys after that had yesterday off. So give me the White Sox here. The current line in this one, I could see anywhere from 139 to 138 to 152. But overall, I'm looking at about a 143 maybe. So let's play the White Sox minus the 143. If you don't want to lay, let me get a quick look here at the first half. First half for the White Sox, you're actually laying about the same, maybe a little bit less, 140. Let's do that instead. Let's do the White Sox in the first 5, because that way I can make sure they're going against Rojas. So let's take the White Sox minus 140 in the first half against Rojas, and a little bit better number. And yeah, let's go with that. I think they're going to get to Rojas. I like him, but I'm really concerned about his walk rate against lefties.
A couple quick things for me to add here. First of all, Brian, I also like the White Sox. This is probably, honestly, this is probably my favorite play of the day, the White Sox. It's just that they're definitely forcing you to pay a pretty big premium to back them on the full game, as you said. If they were 20 cents cheaper, I'd probably be all over the White Sox here. So 2 things. Slugs says Hurd Bradley might come in reliever spot. No, he's going to start tomorrow against the Pirates. He's not coming in to this game. So that's not going to happen. I believe he's already been announced as the Friday starter for the Twins against the Pirates. So I don't expect to see Taj Bradley here, but I will speak on this to a second because I think this might come up if you're looking at the full game. So the Twins listen, I do love when these teams try to do something to be outside the box to be more competitive. You've seen it with the Rays, and now they're starting to get some love for this. The Twins are farming 4-inning guys. Okay. I watch a lot of minor league baseball. So I watch the St. Paul Saints play, and I've been watching them more recently because they have a really good lineup right now. And their broadcast has actually talked about this. Basically, like everyone on that team, every pitcher they have down there right now is a 3 or 4 inning pitcher. I don't know if this is something that like the Twins are trying to say, all right, well, it's hard to find starting pitching here in Minnesota. We don't have a great bullpen. So we're just going to go out and get a bunch of guys that we can like piggyback that can throw 3 innings, 4 innings, and then we can bring the next guy in to throw 3 innings, 4 innings. Of course, they're starting from scratch. They traded Johan Duran to the Phillies last year, traded all these guys, all the relievers. They traded their whole bullpen, and they were left with Joe Ryan. They did grab a starter back in Bradley. I guess you could consider Zebby Matthews as kind of a starter. Bailey Ober's kind of a traditional starter. But like once these guys are gone, every single guy is like 3 or 4 innings. So that's my concern here is like Kendry Rojas is really like a 3 or 4 inning guy at this point. So if you're looking at the full game, you still need to piece to who's coming in for the last 5 innings. And the Twins bullpen has been one of the worst all year. So I like the White Sox full game because of that as well. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And if you take a look at what the right-handers are, because they won't bring a lefty in after another lefty. Eric Orzi, I guess, I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name. But anyway, he pitched 29 pitches yesterday, and Travis Adams threw 33. So that leaves in the righties everybody's favorite punching bag, Simeon Woods Richardson, who did throw 35 on Monday. So he might not even be in, but he's available. And Andrew Morris is available, and Gomez, who has actually been pretty good. He's pitched every other day going back a week, so he may be available. But these are not the kind of arms you're excited. Gomez hasn't been bad, but the other guys are not the kind of arms you want to come out there and see him pitch 3 innings if you're looking to back the Twins. So, yeah, more reasons to play the White Sox. But yes, as I said, you're paying a little bit more, but let's just face it, we were getting them at a bargain rate, and we've talked about this in the past. Find a guy whose numbers don't match up with his past, or don't match up with what he's done. And you talked about that with the Angels pitcher. He's got bad numbers right now. That doesn't mean he's going to have bad numbers his next start. So it's a good time to jump in on that, and I think the White Sox are a good bet today.
Real quick, Roy's saying we missed his question. There's a lot of questions that come through, so it's hard to keep track of all of them. If you're saying, would Martin's poor stats in mini stop you from betting first 5? No, not a big enough sample size, and Davis Martin has completely sort of found himself as a pitcher. I don't care what Davis Martin did a month ago. The dude has figured it out. He's a different guy, so don't worry about his past stats. Also, people that are like, hey, you're like, we're not leaving that. We're going to be on air till we hit all 6 games today. So that is a trig guarantee right now. We are covering all 6 games. Don't worry. We're going to move it along. And you know what? I'm going to do because every once in a while, the OCDers come in and say, why don't you guys go in order? And I always have to say it's because we bounce around. We only typically hit 6 games. There's 15 games. But like I'm gonna do it for the OCD crew today. We're gonna go right in order. We already did Angels, Tigers. We did Twins, White Sox. G Hurt says, how don't we love the Braves today? So we're going right down the list. This is 4 p.m. Eastern. Braves, Red Sox. Back to you, Tokyo Brandon. Agree or disagree with G Hurt? It looks like he likes the Braves here.
So one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are anal and they're like, you said his name wrong, or, oh, what about this? It's like, we're just here to win a bet, my guys. Everything else is just fluff. So let's win some money. Let's not worry about stupid little details. Let's not be a dictionary encyclopedia or whatever. Let's just go. And I'm under the weather, so I'm a little cranky. I'm not as lucid as I normally am. So anyways, or voracious as I usually am. So let's go. Let's talk about the Braves. Chris Sale is a stud. And actually Toll is having a really good season, 2-2 with the 2 ERA. Very nice. I think the Braves are a better team, although Boston's seeing kind of a resurrection here. Both of these pitchers have awesome command and control, though. Like Chris Sale's walk rate is like 17. He's walking 17% of the batters that he's striking out. That's an unbelievable rate because it's normally, like I said, 30 to 40. But Tolles is actually pretty good too. It's 25. So if you dare bet an under in this game, I don't know. Both bullpens are pretty good. Both starting pitchers are playing really well. And the Braves are coming off a pretty ugly loss where they didn't do anything. So usually those teams tend to bounce back. So that would keep me off the under. But with these two pitchers, it's hard not to think about an under. However, because of these two pitchers, the under is going to be way too low. It's going to be 7, and then the first 5 is going to be 3.5. So hard to bet that with any MLB team, especially 2 elite lineups. So, well, I don't know if Boston's an elite lineup, but Atlanta sure is. So, yeah, maybe an under.
Brian, this is sort of the theme of the day, and this seems to happen on shorter slates when the books can really hone in on like the 6 matchups. G Hurt, I'm kind of with G Hurt. I would like a piece of the Braves here, and then I pull up my odds screen and I see -140, -135, -140. So it's not that I don't like the Braves, but at that price point, I'm kind of out. Can you see a way to get into Braves Red Sox here?
Yeah, unlike TB, I understand his thought process. I like to be correct on everything I say. Somebody came in a week ago and pronounced Alcantara.
I did that. That was me.
Oh, was it?
I don't care.
Yeah. Is it Alcantara? Is it Alcantara? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Just win the bet.
They said it was Alcantara, and they know better than I do. I don't watch every Miami game. So I will try to say what his name is. Tokyo.
No, I said it wrong. I said it wrong, and I think I made you say it wrong. I think that's what happened.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. He won the game.
Regardless, you want to call people by the correct name. It may not be important to TB. It's important to me. If somebody called you Tokyo Braden, you would be upset. So
as long as I'm making money, I don't care.
Yeah. I have a friend just to piss me off. He calls me a Leonard once in a while. But yeah, I understand that. So I want to get it right. We all want to get it right. If you're not going to get the names right, how can you expect to get everything else right? Okay. You want to be perfect. We're not. We're human, but that's our goal.
You're never going to be perfect.
All right, getting back to the game. I feel the same way. I wanted to play Sale, but the number may keep me off of here. We're looking at anywhere from a 136 to a 145, basically, or 133 to 145, but basically 137, 140 is about the number here. Both teams have a 107 WRC plus on the season versus lefties. Atlanta hits righties better. Boston does not hit righties better. The good thing for Boston is when you're facing a lefty like Sale, he's going to go 7 innings, so you're going to get lots of chances to face the lefty. Problem is, it's Chris Sale, which means you got a full game of Chris Sale here. The line, to me, is a little bit high on Atlanta. If you're looking at the offense, Atlanta's offense is not nearly as hot as it was before. Right now, they've only got 2 guys that have hit in the top 100 the last week. That's Michael Harris at 15 and Yastrzemski at 59. As much as I love Ronald Acuna Jr., he's still not hitting like he did last year. And some of the other guys are slumping pretty badly. And, obviously you're going with Sandy Leon or Chadwick Trump is your catcher. And that's a big drop off from Baldwin. So, and Murphy's still down trying to find his way back. So, yes, I like this Atlanta team. I like them better than Boston, but hey, we've got to play for value. And I'm just not seeing the value in this one. Can Atlanta blow them away? Of course they can. Anytime you get a pitcher like Sale on there, they score 5 runs, that's going to end up being a blowout for Atlanta, but I'm not going to play him with this number.
Yeah, this is, I don't have, we'll move it along. I don't have much, much to add to this one. Again, it's G-Hurt, I would lean Braves, but that number completely prices me out. So let's keep, like I said, we're going to go right down the list today. Next game, 6:35 Eastern. We're heading to Baltimore, where the suddenly hot Baltimore Orioles take on the Blue Jays, who've actually been pretty solid in their own right. So, TB, back to you. It's Jays Orioles. It looks like it's my guy, Patrick Corbin, on the mound for the Jays. And it's going to be Chris Bassett, a former Jay, on the mound for the Orioles. How do you see Jays Orioles?
Yeah, guys. Double play. You can get 2 of us 3 for 3 days. Huge discount. Or if you only like one person, You can get one person for 30% off for 3 days called the triple play. So go to wagertalk.com, any capper at WagerTalk. It works. And we're all red hot right now. Brian went 5-1 yesterday. Adam won his 5, and I went 3-0 yesterday. So we're all good candidates for your loyalty. So let's see how we're going here. Bassett, yeah, we got Corbin and Bassett. Corbin actually has a pretty nice ERA, and he's got a winning record. Can't say that for Bassett. But these pitchers, they're human beings, and when they go against the team that let them go or traded them, they remember that. Believe me. So I expect to see a little hop in Bassett's step today. The problem is, you're only as good as your ability will take you, no matter how motivated you are. So, keeping that in mind, Bassett has a 1.67 ERA or WHIP, and that's atrocious, horrible. Actually, Corbin's WHIP is 1.4, and that's really high considering his ERA is under 4, which tells me he's putting a lot of guys on base and he's getting kind of lucky that they're not scoring. So I would like to go over in this one. So whenever I lean to an over, I look at the bullpens. Right now, the Orioles bullpen, I have them ranked 20, where I have Toronto's bullpen ranked 10 in current form. So maybe a Toronto team total, either team total or maybe a game over might be a way to go here, because I don't have faith in either one of these pitchers, actually.
Yeah. Patrick Corbin, Clay, New York native, Cicero, North Syracuse High School alum. He's obviously my guy, Central New Yorker. I've rooted for him his whole career. But TB makes a good point. That 1.4 WHIP, he's been a nice stopgap, Brian, for the Blue Jays when they really needed a pitcher to come in and eat up some innings. He's been able to do that. But the Orioles are starting to hit a little bit. And this is kind of very similar to the last game. I have a little interest in Baltimore. I pull up the numbers, and all of a sudden you're being asked to take lay $1.30 in a game that I think I should only have to lay more like minus 110. So kind of feeling priced out again here. But what are you thinking about Blue Jays Orioles?
Yeah, usually you and I line up looking at the same games. I like Toronto in this game. To correct something TB said, he did not get traded. He was a free agent. Bassett was a free agent. And the reason why he was a free agent was he wanted to start. And he thought he'd get a better chance to start in Baltimore than he had in Toronto. Turns out Toronto's pitching staff has been so hurt this year, he'd have been starting the entire year. You never know. You can't predict the future. That's our job, is to try to predict the future. Sometimes we get it right. Sometimes we get it wrong. And unfortunately for Bassett, he got it wrong. He'd have been starting all season long for the Blue Jays. That said, I don't think this Orioles team is that good. The Blue Jays are the better team, and you're getting the better team with a lefty going in Baltimore. Let's see what Baltimore does against lefties. 85 WRC press on the season. They're 105 against righties. So they have not been able to hit lefties all season long. They're playing a crafty lefty in Corbin, who, since he got out of Washington, he's been a much better pitcher, regardless of where he's pitching. He's been a much better pitcher since he left Washington. And maybe just the Washington situation out there, we see it again this year. Washington's offense is great. Washington pitching staff is terrible. Other than once in a while, they got a couple guys that have that ability. And we saw that yesterday out of Washington, the last couple of days out of Washington, but 2 days ago for the most part. But, yeah, I like Toronto here. And you're getting them at upwards of plus 114, anywhere from 108 to 115. That's the way I like to play this one. And Baltimore, yeah, the offense is picking up a little bit, but they're getting it from guys like Yodi Taveras and some of the guys that, yeah, they've been around the league for a while, but I just don't trust them. Yes, Alonso's hitting well. He's a big bat in this lineup. But Taylor Ward has been their most consistent bat, but he's not hitting well right now. Gunnar Henderson is hitting well, but on the season, he's not been that great. So, keep in mind, he was one of the top, 7 or 8 hitters in Major League Baseball to start the season. Right now, he's at 55 on the season, so he hasn't had that great of a season. The Baltimore bullpen, Garcia has not pitched the last 2 days. He's been their closer as of late, and I do like him. Nunez did throw 10 pitches yesterday. He's pitched 2 out of the last 3, so he might not pitch today. Cano's pitched 2 of the last 3. So I like the Toronto situation. And when you take a look at the Blue Jays from a hitting standpoint, they've got some guys that are hitting pretty well right now. George Springer, their leadoff hitter, is 23rd in the league. Vlad's at 46. Although I got to say, Vlad's power has been Vlad has turned himself into Ernie Clement this year. As much as I like Ernie Clement, he's a guy that gets on base and he's a smart hitter. Same with Vlad, but Vlad he's not hitting for power. And until he does, that hurts when you've got your best hitter in offense that isn't hitting for power. But from the bullpen standpoint, to be honest with you with Toronto, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Louis Varland on the season has like a 0.3 ERA. He's striking out 1.5 hitters per inning. I thought he was the closer. They brought him in early yesterday. He gets the hold. Hoffman comes in and gets the win, and Fisher comes in and gets the save. If Varland's that good, I know that you want to use him in your key situations, but geez, it can't be helping the situation. They finally got the closer they wanted. Maybe they're trying to get Hoffman. They spent all that money on Hoffman. Maybe they're just trying to give him some shots, but I'm not really a fan of that. But anyway, the first 2 guys, Varland and Hoffman, pitched yesterday, but they hadn't pitched the last 3 or 4 days combined. So both will be available today. And Toronto's the better team. They're better than Baltimore is. Give me Toronto at plus 115. To me, that's one of my better bets.
Brian, not going to argue with liking Toronto at the price. I wanted to make that clear. At this price, you could only go Toronto on the side, I think. And secondly, we're not going to tolerate any Ernie Clement slander on this show either. That's Rochester, New York native Ernie Clement. I love that guy. Great player. Listen, this part of New York, we don't just pump out major leaguers. So when a guy gets there, you kind of remember who it is. Jeff Hoffman, also from upstate New York, actually used to play at the club that I coached baseball at about 10, 15 years ago. And I think I had his younger brother for like 1 year back when I used to coach. I want to add one more thing to this game before we move it along. Clear for me, the edge in this game is on the total. I'm at 9.3 runs. I like the over. And the point that I really didn't make when I was talking was Corbin might have a little bit of regression due for some of his numbers, but Chris Bassett's kind of been awful. And the Orioles, they just ruin pitchers. This is another team. You get a pitcher there and they find a way to destroy pitching. They don't develop it. This is another team. I don't think they have very good pitching coaches in the minors, and whatever they're doing at the big league level, whatever they did to Shane Baz, and now Bassett comes in and some of his metrics have been just horrible. I think I would lean toward the over.
By the way, the Nationals pitching coach, 25 years old. He looks like one of the players.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. The Nationals overhauled some of these coaches, and now it's starting to work for them a little bit.
It is.
My
wife was talking about how young Drew Patera was, and I said, wait till the pitching coach comes out. She goes, oh my God, I thought it was a player.
Keep an eye on the Nationals. They overhauled their pitching coach, and right now in first place in the International League, the Rochester Red Wings, they are loaded, which means the Nats have all these players coming, and one of them and they have a couple pitchers that are close, I think, to maybe getting the call. So yeah, Nationals, they've got some juice right now in that organization. Another organization that's got some juice, Tokyo, Brandon. They should have more, in my opinion, because they have the best pitcher on planet Earth, and he is starting tonight. That's Paul Skeens. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have been able to stay over 500, which is what I expected them to do this year, 29-27. The Cubs inexplicably lost 10 games in a row. Finally win last night. Amazingly, the Cubs have this big losing streak. They still come into play 30-26. Skeens on the mound in Pittsburgh tonight, PNC Park. How do you see this one?
Yeah, this is why we have to follow every day to see teams up and down. If you just jump in the baseball season halfway through, you would think the Cubs are the worst team, the worst team in MLB, but they're not, despite the losing streak. So they're going against Colin Ray or Rhea, or no matter how he says his name won't affect whether I win or lose the bet. And he's going against Paul Skeens, but Paul Skeens has given up 9 earned runs in his last 2 starts. he has pretty inflated numbers against these Cubs as well. So I'm definitely not backing him today. The Cubs bats have been flaccid, but I have a feeling Cubs are going to score on Skeens here. If the first 5 is 1.5, I think it might be a sneaky play to take the Cubs over 1.5 in the first 5, because Skeens has a 3 ERA, and for normal human beings, for mortals, that's a pretty good number. But for him, it's actually uncharacteristic. He's struggling a little. 9 runs in 2 games is not very good. Give me the Cubs to score 2 runs in the first 5 innings here.
Brian, I saw an interesting stat just as I was scrolling earlier. Paul Skeens at night, his ERA this year is 0.57.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what you make.
Jeez.
I don't know what you make of that, but like, I don't know.
That's important.
Guy clearly likes the spotlight. Why wouldn't you? I mean, you know, you have an arm like he does. Your girlfriend's Libby Dunn. Why would you not want the spotlight if you're Paul Skeens? And then you get one of the big names in the division coming to town on your home field. I don't know. I could kind of see Skeens being up for this game, and the Pirates, after getting smacked around a little bit last night, maybe being ready to bounce back. So how are you seeing Cubs Pirates here?
Yeah, Skeens got bombed in his first start, and well, he really didn't even get bombed. It was his bad defense. Ever since then, he's been terrific. You can't expect excellence every time out, but if there's somebody who has that ability to really dominate a game, he's one of the few players in baseball. And I talked about the Phillies yesterday, by the way. And then the pitcher goes out and throws another shutout. So, yeah, when you get a pitcher as hot as that, you tend to want to bet them. And I had 2 bets on Philadelphia yesterday, so I won them both very easily. Okay. Colin Ray is a guy that I usually do find value on. And the Pirates have taken a little bit of money here. So if you like the Cubs, you can get them upwards of 150, 145 at least. That may not be a bad play here, as much as I like Skeens. At the end of the season, which team do you think will have the better record? I know you said earlier that you thought Pittsburgh to win the division, Trig, was a decent bet. They've been very good, and I like their younger players, but I still think the Cubs are the better team on the season, and by the end of the year, they're going to have the better record. That said, rarely do you get a chance to see Paul Skeens at home at this price range. So different ways to look at it. I can't figure it out one way or the other. I like to wait for a team to win and then jump in. I know Dave Koken, we mention Dave all the time. That was his thing. He wanted it to be proven, like the Tigers yesterday. The Cubs broke it open yesterday, but can they follow that up? We will see. It's a tough thing to do on the road against Pittsburgh here. So I'm going to sit back and watch this one. It's, like I said, it's only 6 games today. Not going to be involved terribly in the cards. So, yeah, I'll pass on this one.
When I said that, no one told me the NL Central was going to be the best division in baseball. Okay. So no one told me every single one of these teams was going to have a winning record as we approach June. So yeah, the Pirates sitting there 29-27, great start to the season. They're in last place right now in the NL Central coming into play today, but all 5 teams are within 5 games of each other. I like the Pirates here. This price is tough. I was hoping to get if I could get minus 135, minus 140, that's probably ambitious with teams on the mound at home. I would have maybe got in there. Minus 165 is steep, in my opinion. Mike says, Dan, what were you, 15 when you were coaching? I'm actually embarking on the last month of my 30s. I will be 40 years old on July 2nd. So when I coached, I was probably in my early 20s. Did it for 5-6 years, and I coached at North Colony, which is like Latham. So a lot of the kids that I coached went to Shaker High School. Did it for 5 years, loved it. It was a blast, but it was very time consuming. I coached high level summer travel baseball. We were playing 50 games, maybe summer was every single day. Did it with 2 of my friends. All we did was coach baseball. That was literally my whole summer, coach the kids, go to the bars after the game with my friends. That's what I did for that was it. And it was a blast. I actually miss it a lot. It was fun. I learned a ton about the game of baseball. Realized I was a much better coach than I was a player. Didn't get very far as a player. As a coach, it was, again. But yeah, that's that was just wanted to answer that question in the chat. And then, as I said, we're not going anywhere. We're going to get to the final game on the card. We're also going to let Tokyo Brandon lock in his parlay piece to close out our parlay. But TB, Astros Rangers to you. Kick us off with this game. And then after we do this one, we'll let you lock in your parlay league.
My parlay is actually in this game, so let's
Perfect.
do it.
I was hoping it was. It was. So
We're running out of games to talk about. Yes.
Adam looks very young for his age. Brian looks young for his age. If you guys were to guess Brian's age, you'd be probably very surprised. Brian is a lot older than I am, which is kind of crazy. He's got all his hair and everything, so looking good. So anyways, get a double play with them two then, just for looking young. So we got the Rangers. We got two really good pitchers here. Well, actually, Aaron Getty is not a guy I ever wanted to back last season, but this season he is shining pretty bright. Look at his numbers. He's 6-1 with a 1.32 ERA. That's like Chris Sale kind of numbers, right? So looking at his whip, it's a little high, 1.2. So a little luck involved, but he has been pitching great. And he's got great stats against the batters he's facing today. His last starts, he's gone 5 innings, 7, 5, 5. He's given up 2 earned runs in those 4 starts. That's hard to argue with. Eovaldi has been good. He's the rock. He's more like a trustworthy veteran. I've got the Rangers batting 19th out of 30 right now. And the way Aaron Getty is pitching right now, I think I'd like a Rangers team total under. Sorry, I did not look up what it is. It's probably 3.5, but I'm okay with 3.5. If it's 4.5, put my mortgage on it because, I don't think the Rangers are going to score a lot today. I could be wrong, but that's what betting's all about, baby. So I'm going to take the Rangers team total full game under 3.5.
Under 3.5. Oh, the over is minus 130. So you're looking at, even money or plus 110 here on the
Plus money for the under.
Yeah,
against
under
Aaron Getty.
Plus 105. Can we call it plus 105?
You can definitely call it plus 105. You can call it 110 if you like, but
against the guy with a 1.8 ERA and 6 starts. Wow, I'll take it.
I will say from my perspective on the game. First of all, Mike, I do want to apologize when you wrote that to Trigger. Tells you how old I am. I had to read that thing 4 times to figure out what the hell it was because he was using the text, the young person's texting with the U and the R. Yeah, Brian,
you and I are at the age where we have to use that old person's font on our phone to see anything.
Yeah, I literally had to read that 3 times before I figured out what the hell he was saying. But that's my problem, not his. Okay, Aaron Getty against Eovaldi. The line on this is Eovaldi about a 130. About a 135, 140 favorite. Total 7.5 to the under, as low as 25. I had the Texas under yesterday. That was one of the plays that I liked. This is a tough place to score in. And Eovaldi's a guy who I really like, and he seems to be pitching better now. Aaron Getty, the only thing that concerns me about Aaron Getty, he's always had a walk problem. And my numbers show he's going to walk 3 batters today. When you've got a total of 7.5 and your starter's going to walk 3 batters, it gives me a little bit of pause there. Aaron Getty's made some changes. He's been a little bit lucky, but he's right now. It's until somebody can come out and knock him around. What he's done is pretty impressive. So I kind of like the under in this one too. I just as long as he's not walking more than 2 batters in this game, I'm with you on the under. I think it'll be tough for both teams to score in this one.
I don't have a ton to add. I like Spencer Arrighetti. I see some people in the chat like maybe pushing back on him a little bit. I think he's got a ton of upside. 99th percentile extension. If you don't know what extension is, it's basically how close you release the ball to home plate. So it's like if you have good extension, and you can listen to hitters talk about this, the ball feels like it gets there quicker because you're releasing it closer to home plate. So that's a big, like the pitching coaches, like that's always going to, if you have an extension that's in the top 1% of Mark Lambert, I do like McGreevy. I don't know what's wrong with that. Like, I think McGreevy is, I don't know if you're saying that as a good or bad thing. I think he's overperformed at this point. I think I was kind of right about him sort of breaking out this year.
Sure.
I think Arrigetti's another guy. He's had to battle some injuries, definite command. Like, he's another guy that didn't have a ton of time at AAA, and I don't think he fully got to really polish out his command. As he starts to really like hone in on being able to throw strikes and not put people on base, I think he's going to be like potentially like, I think he could be the ace of this staff at some point. Exit velo and hard hit rate, top 10% in the league. No one's squaring him up. He's got a good fastball, good movement on it. He throws 4 or 5 pitches. I like Arrigetti. Like I everything he's doing suggests to me that he's better than you think he is. Not you as in any you person in the chat, like better than the average person thinks. Like Arrigetti, in my opinion, is flying a little bit under the radar. I think if he didn't have some of those injury concerns, like we would all know more about him right now. So he's someone I think you can buy. And TB, I can't disagree with. I think he throws a good game here tonight too. Rangers are so average. It's an average baseball team.
I are agreeing a lot lately. It's kind of unsettling. But
I like it. Hey, I mean, you go 4-0. You go 4-0 every day, so I don't think it's a necessarily bad thing.
We're all winning too. But speaking of extension, Randy Johnson had some decent extension. That guy was halfway to the plate when he let go of the ball.
When you're 6'10", you happen to have that. But there are some guys that are 6 foot and have it because the way they land. And the point is, if you ever see somebody, they talk about a rising fastball, if you've got that extension, it looks as if it's rising. It's basically on the same plane, but it looks, because it's different than what you normally see. So when you got a guy in the top 5 extension, and I talked about it a lot last year. I spent a lot of time on the websites, and I talked about that a lot last year. I wanted to change it up a little bit this year. I don't want to say the same things over and over, but that the extension definitely helps.
All right, we gotta help you guys by hitting a parlay. We've been a little cold on the picks. Like I said, last 2 days, the parlay 2-1 both days. Just haven't been able to get it home. So we got to get that right today. I am going to go with Angels on the money line. We're still getting plus money. I think we called it plus 110. I'll throw you a little bonus pick. I think Grayson Rodriguez goes over his strikeout prop. It's 5.5 plus 115. My gut says he shoves a little bit today. Guy's throwing 97. I think he could shut the Tigers down and get 6 or more strikeouts. But for the parlay, I am going with the Angels plus 110 full game money line. Bryan Leonard is going to go White Sox first 5 money line minus 140. And Tokyo Brandon is going Rangers team total under 3.5 plus 105. That's your 3-teamer today. One more time. Angels plus 110. White Sox first 5 minus 140. Rangers full game team total under 3.5 plus 105. It's your 3-teamer for today. We hit all the games. We made it. Got through all 6 games. If you want to know what we're actually betting on the day, head on over to WagerTalk. Check out the specials on the site. Double play packages up. Any of the 2 handicappers you see on your screen. There's a lot of good specials that expire at the end of May. So you've got like 3 days to take advantage of those. I can guarantee I'll have a 5%er tomorrow. I've already got the game pretty much picked out. So long-term packages would include that. So check us out. And we will be back here 9 a.m. Eastern to do it again tomorrow morning. See you guys then.